Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here with Peter Tabuns today. Hi, Peter.
Hi, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you as well. Yeah, and thanks for the hospitality here at your office. I just thought that we'll take this opportunity to update everybody with where we are concerning the Ontario line.
Right. Well, I'm happy to fill you in. As you know, with everything that's gone on with the coronavirus, the Ontario line is taking a bit of a back seat at the moment.
I'm sure.
But the province of Ontario is continuing on with all its preparations for the Ontario line. As you may be aware, there are geophysical tests taking place up and down Pape Avenue. Right now, the province is engaged in doing the soil testing to determine what the real conditions are underground.
Right.
In terms of permissions and public consultation, the government recently introduced a bill, Bill 171, that substantially reduces the public's right to protection from expropriation. Doesn't eliminate it, but substantially reduces their protections in case of errors on the part of the provincial government. And it also is reshaping the environmental assessment process. I'm worried about that because in fact we're looking at a two-stage process that will mean that work can start before a full assessment has been done. And when you're spending $11 billion, it makes a lot of sense to do the whole preparatory process in advance so you aren't having to correct problems further on down the line.
Exactly.
And at the same time, will the public get the consultation that it deserves, and will their concerns be fully aired before shovels go into the ground? With this bill, I don't believe that's going to be the case. So that's one track of what's going on.
So they are pushing it forward as pretty aggressively, you would
Yes,
say.
that's correct. And we are in a situation where we've been trying to get very fundamental information from the province about the cost of this project. And it's been a month now that we've asked for, again, very fundamental information, haven't been able to get it back from the province. So we don't like the way they're approaching this, obviously.
That's why we're doing this video.
Yeah.
We're having a discussion, yeah.
But when you have a major project like this that has a big impact on people's lives, you need to proceed in a deliberate way that allows people to get the information they need and to give feedback. As you're well aware, when the city was doing the relief line
Yes.
in south part of this community, there were extensive public meetings. And in fact, the project got reshaped based on public input. Nothing was perfect, but in the end, that public consultation was critical to making a design that worked in this community.
It had a real impact, like there was a positive result compared to what it was at the very beginning.
Exactly. And so we have a situation now where the province has put forward this $11 billion project with two substantial problems in this community, and one in the south end, south of Gerrard, where the subway line will be above ground running parallel to the GO train tracks. And at the north end, without consultation, without people actually being aware that this whole thing was going on, suddenly informing them that a subway line was going down their residential street, and possibility of large-scale expropriation. So at both ends, at the south and the north, we have people very upset about an outcome that they weren't really part of the discussion for. And that is no way to do public policy, in my opinion.
Of course. And I mean, and Peter, you've been working very hard to get some information out of these people and try to see what's going on and how we can change the things for the best. The main concern, I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of the main concern that we have for the people that are living here in Leslieville and Riverdale is basically the fact that I want you to imagine that there's going to be trains go above ground for 2 kilometers starting around Pape School. Like there was actually an indication that it could be across from the school itself. And the problem is that we don't have substantial or fundamental information, as you're saying. Like they're very vague. Like we don't even know exactly now at this point in time where it's going to be the beginning and the end of those 2 kilometers. Like exactly, we can't pinpoint it.
No, and that's absolutely the case. And because this project is going to be a public-private partnership where the design is done by a private company without having to consult with the public, we may not know until the contract is signed exactly where things are going to be located. And I think, again, that's a huge problem for the community.
Of course.
Traditionally, projects are designed by governments. They put out their documents the public sees them before any bids are put forward. And then you know concretely where stations will go, where lines will go. This is hugely problematic. It really reduces democratic input into design, and for public works projects, you have to have consultation and democratic input to protect public interest and to make people feel that they're respected and heard.
Of course.
And both of those things are really critical.
Exactly, and make them feel that they're actually a part of the project.
Yeah.
Because make no mistake, we all want more transit, right?
Totally.
Like there's none of us is against transit. None of the people that live here in the community is against transit. It's all about having something that actually makes sense.
I would put it even more strongly. This is a community that's been demanding investment in transit for a long time now. As you're well aware, up at Pape Station, people
Yes.
try to get onto the trains at rush hour, go to work. They have to wait train after train to get on. And then they get to Yonge and Bloor, and it's almost impossible to get on a train going southbound. People down on Queen Street, not being able to get on a Queen streetcar, or getting on and being just squeezed to the max.
Like sardines.
Yeah, or trying to get home from work, having the streetcars pass them already packed. So people in this community need and understand the need for more transit. And so it was very frustrating when we got this design that had so many negative attributes. You don't have to do that, frankly. You don't have to go negative on a transit project. And I know constantly the Premier's talking about we need to speed up, we need to expedite transit
Yes,
investment. Well, we already had an approved plan with design well underway. We put millions of dollars into that design, and that's just been thrown into the garbage. Makes no sense if you care about building transit quickly.
Exactly. Well, Peter, thank you very much for taking the time. I don't know if you wanted to add anything else or...
No, you've let me go at length. I appreciate it.
No, because this is what's important. This is why we're here, right? Like, and at the end of the day, what can we do? What can we as a community do at this point in time?
Well, there are a few things. One, the bill that I refer to, Bill 171, is going to come before a committee of the legislature later this month. It is possible to get in touch with the clerk of the committee, and I believe it's social policy, but if people are interested, I'm sure you'll be willing to post the email address of the clerk at the end of this video.
Yes, I will.
People need to apply to speak, and if they find that the speaking slots are all taken, they need to write in so that the written opinions are there. I don't know where we will be at with coronavirus by the end of this month.
Right.
If that was not there, I would say we need to have a large crowd down at the Ontario Legislature. If we can't do that, then at a minimum we need large volumes of written comments coming into the clerk so that the legislature understands the gravity of this matter with regard to the people who live in this community. And I think right now that's one of the biggest tasks that faces us.
Excellent.
But I think the other, and this is why I appreciate the fact that people in the community have organized, both at the north end of Pape and south of Gerrard.
Yes.
People need to be speaking out and pointing out the problems with the government's plan, pointing out that Doug Ford in Etobicoke is investing billions of dollars in burying a light rail transit line underground along a major road when that's not called for, and it's something the City of Toronto had rejected when it did its planning earlier. So apparently in the riding where he lives,
it's okay to go underground.
well, spend several billions of dollars to go underground. And in this community where it doesn't make sense, we've got 19th century housing right up against the rail lines. The only sensible thing, frankly, is to go underground. This is huge hypocrisy on the part of the Premier, and people need to call it out.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Peter. I hope you have a great day.
You too. Thanks
And
for coming in.
We'll stay in touch.
Okay.
Thanks.